Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to finally do my April check-in for my hashtag team project Pan. It's a bit late, but Easter and birthdays and stuff going on. It's busy, but I have made some good progress and it is a quarterly refresh. So there's going to be some movement happening in this month's project Pan. So if you're not familiar with this project, it is a year-long rolling project Pan that's pretty much a full face of makeup. So when I use something like a base product, I swap it out for a new product that I want to finish up. And the whole purpose of this is to minimize my collection, use what I have, get rid of some old stuff, get rid of stuff that I like but don't love, and really streamline my collection to only a few products of things that I really enjoy. So that's the whole goal of project panning. All right, since this is a quarterly refresh, which means that if I'm not liking a product, I can swap it out for a different product. I'm actually going to talk about the one product that I'm doing that with this month, and I'm going to also talk about a product that was on the chopping block and I might do next quarterly refresh. So I mentioned in my last update that my Linda Hallberg or LH Cosmetics Caph Flash liner I'm really struggling with it and I'm just not using it. It's a really beautiful taupe shimmery eyeliner, but it just doesn't glide on the waterline. So it's fine on the skin, but I like to use pencil liners on my waterline and this just doesn't show up. You have to like do a lot of this to get any color on there, and even then it's like translucent color. It's not worth the hassle. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. It's one that I'm not going to use on my top lash line. I've got so many other gel liners, liquid liners, other better pencils. Not saying this is bad, it's just not good for what I like to use it for. So this one is actually, I'm going to declutter this. What I will be replacing that with is actually a fairly new liner to my collection anyway, but when I moved house back in December, I never unpacked my eyeliners. I've got them in like a pencil case, like a big makeup bag, I suppose it is. And so I've only taken out a few and I've been using like 3 on rotation for the past like 4 or 5 months. So I just thought I'll pick one that's on rotation and use it up. And it's a Nabla Cupid's Arrow Full Color Stylo, and it's in the shade Arrow number 2. So it's a dark brown. It's a matte, it's a really chunky pencil. I think it's supposed to be a multi-purpose pencil similar to the LH Cosmetics one. So if you want this as like a chocolate brown lip color, you can wear that. I just put it on my waterline, and because it is that sort of really chunky nib, like it's a wind up one, which is helpful. You can't really get a precise liner effect with this. So I have just been using it on my waterline. It's nice and creamy, it applies easily. It doesn't, like I don't think it's the longest wearing eyeliner for your waterline, but it does the job and it's really easy to use, and I can't see myself using this in any other way. So I thought I'll use this up. Like I've been using this a lot the last couple of months, but I can keep track of the progress by winding it up if I'm careful. So yeah, I think it's just a good one to pan at the moment because it's the one I keep reaching for anyway. Possibly on the chopping block. I don't even know if I used this month at all. It's the Huda Beauty Tantour in Fair. So this is a cream contour bronzer product. That's what it looks like. I will have a photo of the screen of what it was up to last month. It might not have changed because I might not have used it. I'm not too sure. This is too pigmented for daily use. This is more of that sculpting, quite dramatic makeup look, which even though I've got a dramatic lip going on today, I don't tend to wear a lot of makeup anymore unless I'm filming, which I'm doing now. So it's uncommon that I'm going to use this on a day-to-day basis. I sort of don't know what else I'm going to do with this if I take it out. So what I might do is see if I'm going to use this anymore in the next 3 months. And if I don't make any progress, I might actually declutter this one as well, because if I'm not going to use it in like 6 months, then why have it around is my sort of way of thinking. But I sort of want to give it another chance and just really see if I put my mind to it, can I use this up, or I don't know if I want to. I feel like it just makes my makeup too dramatic and that's not what I go for these days, but I also don't want to just kicking around half used and going off because it's a cream. So anyway, since I'm in 2 minds, I'm going to keep it for another quarter and then decide at a later date if I'm going to keep this or get rid of it. All right, onto the products that I've used up. I think there's 6 products this month and I will talk about them in my empties next time around. So if you want to know what I think about the product, whether I'll repurchase it, I will save them for my empties video. But the first thing I used up is this foundation. I only included it last month. It was up to here and I used it up. I love this foundation, this Revlon Candid Natural Finish Foundation. My shade is 220. Great foundation, easy to apply, nice sort of light to medium coverage, wears well on my oily skin. Everything is great about it. The thing that's frustrating about this one compared to other Revlon foundations is this is 22 mils, whereas normal standard foundations are 30 mils, so you don't get as much and you do go through it quickly, but it's a nice pump bottle. You use up all of it. I really like this foundation. It was easy to use and I do currently miss it, so that's a good sign. But yeah, that is done. And I do want to tackle some other foundations that are sort of half done in my collection. I'm sort of itching to buy a new foundation, but I can't justify buying a new foundation just yet without getting rid of or using up at least a couple more. So yeah, I really want to start burning through foundations so I can, I don't know, try something new, which would be exciting because I haven't done that in ages. So what I've decided to replace that with is actually a foundation by La Roche Posay. Again, I really like this one. This is the Toleraine Corrective Liquid Foundation. My shade is 11 Light Beige. I like this for similar reasons. It's a nice daily foundation, not too much coverage. This one is a little bit more matte, so it can look a little bit heavier on the skin, especially if you powder it down. Whereas I think the Candid one is a little bit fresher and more natural finish, but I can totally wear this. It wears well on my oily skin. The color match is quite nice, and anything La Roche Posay works really well for my skin. My skin really likes their formulations, so it really likes this product. This again will probably be one that I'm going to miss once it's gone, but I don't know how much is in here because I can't see through the tube, so I don't want to mark it. What I might do is weigh this instead, but it sort of feels like maybe I'm down to here. So I feel like this might also be another one that I'll finish in a month or maybe 2 months. And then I can really start whittling down my foundation collection. I have noticed that all the foundations that I'm sort of leaving behind are foundations that are more full coverage. So I'm going to struggle a little bit because I want something that's lighter coverage, which is also where the temptation to buy something new is coming in. But yeah, I'm just using what I can use up at the moment. All right, I have to talk about this powder. I introduced this last month. It's the Shiseido powder. It's the matte version. I did have to cut this open to use it up because the mesh is almost opaque. It's very hard to get product through it. And it was just a nightmare to use. I did rush through this powder. And I want to talk about this now because it sort of impacts how I'm going with other products in this project pan. One thing I found, there's little flecks left, so I can probably get one application left, but I sort of rushed through this because I noticed something about it that I really didn't like. It's a nice sort of translucent setting powder that has a matte finish. Great, tick, tick, tick. I've got oily skin. I need my foundation set. I like a matte finish. But this created such a matte base that shimmery blushes and highlighters would not stick to it. And I'm not joking. I would put a blush on, like I would use a blush from my palette that I'm panning. And there's a particular blush in here that I'll talk about in a second that has a nice sort of sheen to it. And I sort of use it all over the cheek as a blush highlighter in one. I've talked about it in the past, so you'll know which one I'm talking about if you've watched my past videos. But that one would turn up almost matte on my skin because shimmer would not adhere to this. Even if I put only a small amount on, only matte blushes and like face products would show up on this base. It was nice and smooth, but shimmery products wouldn't work on it. So it was very frustrating because the weather's getting colder here in Australia. I want a bit of a glow to my skin and I couldn't get it with this. So I sort of rushed, I sort of overused it to use it up so I can move on to something else because I can't get this effect with this. Powder highlighters just wouldn't bloody stick. There are some highlighters that would stick. So if I went out of my project pan and, you know, used a really intense highlighter, it would stick on the skin, but it would almost skip and look a little bit dry and patchy. Whereas highlighters that I like to wear these days are a little bit more subtle and a little bit more glowy and a little bit more wet look. So it looks a little bit more like you've just got shiny skin. It would not adhere to this. So I didn't like this powder and I rushed through it. So it is done. I'm replacing that with another powder that's fine, but I don't love it and I don't want to wear it on days where I'm trying to look good. I'm happy to wear it on a daily basis, but this is the Mecca Max Banana Bake Skin Filter Powder. I've actually panned one of these before. So I will take a photo of the pan. There's nothing really exciting to see, but there was a design, an M design, similar to this one here that's almost got like a swirly pattern in it that was on the pan, but it's almost completely gone. So I think I'll get through this pretty quickly as well. What I don't like about this powder is that it makes my skin too yellow. So it's a banana powder. These sort of powders are great for people that have like tanned or medium skin. I have quite light skin, and I just find that when I wear this, my body looks a lot more pink and my face looks a lot more yellow, which I don't like. So I've been using this sparingly on low makeup days. But again, I'm targeting it because it just doesn't suit my skin color. I finally used up my finishing spray from Uemura. This is a Skin Perfector Cypress Makeup Refresher Mist. I love these products. They're really, really great, but there is a yuzu scented one and also a cherry blossom one, which are amazing. This one wasn't my favorite, so I wanted to use it up. It's taken me a long time. This was in my project pan last year. And so I've been using it for a long time, but I really went to town with it this month. I don't even know why, I just did. And I'm gonna replace that with 2 mini finishing sprays. I've got these 2 from Fourth Ray Beauty. This is the Fresh AF Energizing Mist, and this is the Glisten Up Illuminating Mist. I like this one more, but this one is unused. This one is slightly used. I'm going to mark them both and work on them both. If I use them a lot, I feel like I can use up maybe 1 a month, so I thought I'll add in both. And we'll just see how we go with this. I've got a whole drawer full of finishing sprays, so I really want to get through some of them. And I thought maybe I'll tackle the small ones first because I don't know, they're easy to use up. What can I say? I used up my Colourpop lip gloss. Hooray! I like this lip gloss. It was good. I can go through these really, really quickly. I was like rummaging through my drawer of lip products for another Colourpop lip gloss to be like, maybe I'll target another one because they're so easy to use. I can use them in 3 months. I couldn't find one, and I just came across this product, which is a lot newer than a lot of other lip glosses I have, but because it was towards the top of the drawer, it's a nice color, I thought I'm going to target this. This is from Sigma. It's a Renew Lip Oil, so it's a good time to use it. We're sort of going into the cooler weather. Lips can get drier. It's also this beautiful mauvey tones. The shade is All Heart, and this is barely used. I will mark it. It's like almost right to the top, and I just thought it's a nice nourishing product. It's a nice color for this sort of time of the year because I tend to go more cool tone makeup in the cooler weather, and I'll just see how I go using this up. All right, guys, time to be proud of me. I used up my MAC paint pot. This is the Painterly paint pot, and it is completely done. So I've been using this, what do you call it? Eyeshadow base. I love this eyeshadow base for one. I love it, and it was great almost to the very last drop. It did get a little bit dry towards the end, but still very usable. And it takes a good year to use these up. So really, really good value for money. But I'm replacing that with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. Not because I love this product, it's fine. I do like something that's a little bit less wet. This is quite wet. This is quite translucent. I do prefer something that's a little bit more cream based, gives a little bit of a, I don't know, blanking out of the lid. I much prefer this. But I've got another one of these unopened in my drawer, and I thought, look, I don't need 2, so I'll focus on using up this one, and we'll see how long it takes. This has been used. I've been using it throughout the month, and prior to that I've used it quite a few times, but I would still call it quite lightly used in terms of eyeshadow primers. This is definitely not a quarter done, half done. It's nowhere close, so it's going to be a bit of a long haul product. Last product I used up was my mascara mini from Hourglass. I used this up actually maybe within a few days of finishing my last video. So I instantly put in my Estee Lauder Double Wear Zero-Smudge Lengthening Mascara in black. So I've actually been using this for at least 3 weeks, and I really like it. I didn't weigh it when I first started using it because I wanted to weigh it when it went into this project. So I reckon I've had a lot of use of this that I haven't tracked, but I'll track it from now on. I'm really glad I'm getting through my minis because, again, I've sort of got a little bit of a graveyard of mini mascaras that I want to get through this year. So yeah, this one's a good one and I've been enjoying using it. Before I get on to the other products that I haven't used up but I've made progress on or no progress on, I want to talk about a couple of products that I'm just adding in. One is going to be a brow product. This is from M Cosmetics, and it's, look, I don't know the full name. It says that it's the Espresso Brow Cream, but I will put the full name in the description box. This is a really tiny wand, like a little mascara wand, brow wand, and it deposits a little bit of tinted brow color. I really like it. I think it adds a little bit of texture to the brows. This shade is a little bit dark for me. I have a taupe one as well that suits me better. But the reason I'm targeting this is simply because the other day, somehow I found it in my drawer like this. I think my toddler got in there, opened it up, something happened, and I found the wand over here and this over here. So now I'm concerned that it's going to dry out fast. So I thought that's a good reason to use it up before it does dry out. It does still work, so it didn't dry out to a point where it's unusable. But yeah, I'm adding this in just to get use out of it before it dies. I'm also going to add in a primer. Now, last check-in, I did talk about finishing a primer, and I didn't want to add in a new primer just yet because I had some minis that I wanted to use up in my travel size mini project pan, which I'll do my check-in after this. That'll be my next video. But since I've used up a couple from that, I've decided I want to add in this primer oil. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. Now, it's barely used. It's a nice oil. I'm using it today under my base, so even if you have oily skin, you can use oils. I'm just finding that a primer oil is a really hard step because you apply it over your skincare. So I cleanse my skin, I put like a serum on, moisturizer, sunscreen, and then this goes over the top. And it today anyway, it made my sunscreen peel a little bit. So I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate this into my daily routine, but because it's getting into the cooler weather, my skin is going to be drier than it is in summer. I thought it's a good time to target this and start using it up. I also want to play around with this and see how I go shearing out more full coverage matte foundations using it. I have heard that that's a good way to sort of add a little bit more dewiness to sort of really dry matte foundations. So I thought it's a good time to play around with this, but I don't know if I can use it up. We'll see. We'll see over the next few months, but I'm targeting it to see if I can use it up. The last thing I'm just adding in is actually a perfume. This, look, if you're familiar with my channel and been watching for a while, you know that this CK2 fragrance from Calvin Klein, hang on, I'll turn it the right way, Calvin Klein down the bottom, is like my favorite fragrance. And I've gone through, I think, 2 bottles of this. This is my 3rd, and it's discontinued. So you might be thinking, Kat, why are you rushing to use this up? Firstly, it's a lovely perfume and I adore it. I've been using it for years and years, probably like 6 years now or however long it's been out. The reason why I am focusing on this, which is a sad state of affairs, when I lived in the apartment, our bedroom was quite dark. So anything that was stored in there was in like perfect condition. There was no light that was like ruining it. Whereas I found now that I'm in this bedroom, which has a lot of light, and in summer I was getting a lot of heat, I have noticed using this, it smells slightly different, just slightly different, not off, but I can tell it is starting to get a bit old. So I want to use it up before it gets old because it'd be a complete waste if I had to throw this out. Also, I'm not too upset about getting rid of this because when I found out it was discontinued, I went around and bought 4 of them on sale. So it's not as if it's my only one. I do have 4 others hidden away. So I want to use this one up for now. And I also have a perfume in mind that I want to buy. So as soon as I use a perfume up, I might give myself permission to buy another one. So win-win. Win-win. So yeah, this one is sort of halfway done at the moment, but I can easily wear this one every day. I love it. And I can sort of apply quite a bit of it because it is a very fresh scent. I would say that this actually, to me, it smells like water. It's a very aquatic, fresh, like rain. It smells like rain. I love it. It's such a good fragrance. And I'm really sad that it was discontinued because I'd love to wear this until the day I die. But anyway, since I can't, I'll enjoy it now. All right, on to progress. And I'm going to talk about this. Now, I did actually have some very good progress just today. So I use my bronzer pretty much every day, and I've been using, whoa, stop dropping it. I did that in the last video as well. I used this today and I hit pan on it. You can see that tiny bit of pan that revealed itself only today. So there's a big dip in it. Now, That is the blush that I use a lot. It's the one that I've been using the most of. I will have a photo on the screen of what it was like last month versus this month. But this is also the blush that wasn't showing up on the powder. So even though I was trying to use it and I was trying to get it to work, I guess to some degree, it made me use a lot of blush. So I think I was making more progress than other months because it just wasn't showing up on the powder. But I much prefer to use less of it and actually have it look good than having to cake it on to see anything, but at least I saw some good progress. So the main progress would be definitely in this blush here and also a bit of a dent in the bronzer. They're the main ones I use, and I occasionally use Rocket Tour. But hopefully you can see any progress in the photos on the screen because it's hard to see showing you like this. The other product that was hindered by the powder was my Dior highlighter. I love this highlighter. That's what I'm wearing today over that blush, and I just couldn't get it to show up on my face when I was using that powder. So I sort of stopped using this for a few weeks and have only recently come back to it now that it actually shows up. So there's not much progress here. Again, I'll have a photo on the screen, but hopefully I'll be able to use it more now that I've changed the powder. I have made some good progress on my concealer. So this is the Covergirl Outlast Extreme Wear Concealer in the shade Buff Beige. Last month I was at 14.24 grams and now I'm at 11.43 grams. So I am making good progress on that. I'm starting to see it sort of squish down and I have been using this every day, so I'll keep using it. The last few things, I don't have any visible progress. Firstly, I totally forgot to weigh my Nabla Serial liner, which is my liquid liner. When I introduced this last month, I had on my spreadsheet, weigh, and I didn't. I forgot to weigh it. So I don't actually have a baseline weight for this, so I can't give you an update, but I have worn it maybe a handful of times. I'm not wearing liquid eyeliner nearly as much as I have in the past. I'm actually wearing an eyeshadow as a liner today and the pencil on my waterline, so this isn't used too much. I also haven't been using my Bobbi brown gel liners simply because they're quite dry, and I did buy a new bottle of Duraline by Inglot. I don't know where it is. I've literally turned my makeup storage and table and everything upside down 3 times to try to find it. I don't know where my fresh, like, unopened bottle of Duraline is. I'm really angry at myself for losing it. So until I find it, I can't really use this because it's sort of too dry to use. But I don't want to take it out of my project pan because I still want to use this occasionally. Lastly, my Kabrow brow pomade from Benefit. Again, this is struggling. It's getting dry and I want to use my Inglot Duraline and I do not have it. So I have been using this, but it is harder and harder to use. So I have been sort of sometimes switching over to pencils, that sort of brow gel product. This is, yeah, it needs to be refreshed. And until I find my Duraline, I can't do that. All right, so that's it for this check-in. If you're doing a project pan, I'm hoping you're seeing some good progress by now. I do find that the sort of 3 or 4 month mark, you start seeing some really good progress. But yeah, if not, keep going. Best of luck, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.